It's called this year the Year of Education, but the General Assembly did not pass any education legislation.
So today, a small group of lawmakers was back at it at the State House, continuing discussions, trying to get a head start for next year's session. Our George Godfrey takes us there.
The goal is to have a comprehensive education bill signed into law next session. And at this latest meeting, a Senate Education Committee discussed several parts of a large education bill passed by the House dealing with underperforming schools and districts.
I think we're just going to have to be.
The Senate Education Committee took more than 4 hours of testimony from educators in the Department of Education,
where we've allowed school districts to not do well, and we've just kept sending more money to help, and we've not had a whole lot to show for it.
Several sections in a large education bill address underperforming schools. Right now, the state is working with 570 schools to improve performance, and 18 schools have been taken over by the state.
We will be adding more schools that need help. We've increased our support this year from the lowest 5% of schools to the lowest 10% of schools, and any school that has 30% of their students not met.
Teachers at the meeting expressed the need to address mental health in the legislation, citing how situations outside of school impact a student's ability to perform, ultimately hurting the school's report card used to determine the school's performance.
I failed out of middle school. I was struggling, was unhappy and depressed. I didn't really have any supports, and so I just stopped doing any work, and I failed 7th grade. And so it took a couple of really invested teachers to get me back on track.
If a school is underperforming, the state can force a consolidation, charter the district, or take over the district's management. This bill calls for the school board to have a stakeholder address achievement gaps, alternative programs, and the emotional health needs of students. Superintendent Spearman says it would take about 10 years for a school district to return to its normal operations if the state has to come in and take over management. In Columbia, George Godfrey, 7 News.
So in this year's budget, the General Assembly set aside money for school districts to do this consolidating. The criteria for consolidation is having less than 1,500 students.
You may have heard